Lucky Land Slots, you can get lucky just about anywhere.
Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today to... Has anyone seen the bride and groom?
Sorry, we're here. We were getting lucky in the limo and we lost track of time.
No, Lucky Land Casino, with cash prizes that add up quicker than a guest registry.
In that case, I pronounce you lucky.
Play for free at LuckyLandSlots.com. Daily bonuses are waiting. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+. Terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
From various locations via the miracle of Skype, it's the 40th anniversary season of the LTN Hour. Let's talk NASCAR with your host, Todd Bailing, co-hosts Brian Schmidt, PJ Noodleman, and producer Dangerous Dan Margetta. Call the show anytime at 414-421-7901. And now, the creator and host of the fastest hour in radio, Todd Bailing.
And welcome to the program. Glad you could join us. Yes, it seems like that off-season was just a distant memory all of a sudden. Here we are, the second race of the season, and look how busy this is going. We're just beside ourselves with all the things going on. Hello there, Todd Bailing in Phoenix, Arizona, joined by my three partners, beginning with Brian Schmidt out in Utzberg, Wisconsin. Hi, Brian.
Morning. Yes, back-to-back pack races, so we'll see how this goes. Everybody has to remember that when you see how these races end up, that starting next week, we'll really see who really has what.
A little different kind of racing starting next week. And, of course, PJ Noodleman of Trempealeau, Wisconsin. Hi, PJ.
Hey. Happy to be here.
That's right. Happy. And if you're my age, you're happy to be anywhere. Dan Margetta, our esteemed producer director from St. Francis, USA. Hi, Dano.
Good morning. Back-to-back pack races. You got to handle it Daytona, but Atlanta's a lot smaller, so you got to really handle it Atlanta.
Yeah, and, it's funny, but gas suddenly became a huge issue at the end of yesterday's Xfinity race as they were running out of gas left and right on a green-white checker finish. That really adds a layer there to deal with, and a layer of excitement for the fans and real excitement for the drivers. What do you mean I'm not going to finish? That's how Austin Hill happened to win the race yesterday after his teammate Jesse Love led 157 laps out of the 208 that they had in that race yesterday. The very popular Austin Hill has won now the first two races of the season in a Chevrolet. Gas, what do you think, guys? Gas mileage, that's what we need. Another layer to put into this whole thing.
Yeah, it just seems like Austin Hill has a knack for that pack racing stuff, and then he kind of vanishes when you get to the regular races. So, I don't know how much you can put into that again. He's done this. He's won Daytona 3 times in a row. He's won 3 out of the last 4 at Atlanta in the pack races. So, and that's his bread and butter. So, beyond that, we'll see if he's actually a threat throughout the rest of the season or not.
Interesting. Fuel mileage has always been a part of the deal. I mean, it's ever since we've been racing, we've had fuel mileage strategies. It just comes out more lately. I mean, it was really prevalent in the 500 when guys were with the stage breaks. Now it really comes into play in the middle of the race where you're trying to make it to the stage break without having a pit. And so you're actually in save mode a lot earlier than when you were before. You're probably thinking about it more than before. That's just always been a part of racing. I don't know how you're going to fix that. People at Daytona were getting mad about the thing. Kyle Busch called it, disgusting. We're doing that. And honestly, I think if we didn't have telemetry, we wouldn't have known they were running half throttle unless the TV told you. So, I mean, I'm not sure how to fix that.
Very odd.
I would agree with that. And then if you look at yesterday's Xfinity race, though, when there were so many cautions when they could have got going, I think that is where it starts to look like more manipulation by NASCAR.
They don't want to admit to that. Come on. Manipulation, not by NASCAR. At least they don't want the teams to manipulate. They want to manipulate themselves. Michael McDowell is on the pole. There's something I never said before. Maybe I'm I don't know. Maybe am I reading from the wrong end? Yeah, well, there's Chase Elliott down on the other end. Maybe I do have it upside down. McDowell, 178.844 miles an hour on this, of course, 1.5 mile track. He was the only driver to make it into the 30-second bracket at a 30.999, barely into it. And Joey Logano on the outside. It's the same two cars that started the Daytona 500 on the front row, except they're reversed. And is it really two Penske cars? Do you think that front row team is that much Penske yet? I don't know.
They have an alliance with them. I mean, that was part of their deal.
I think that there is quite a bit of influence, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they're a tier 1 Ford team now, is what everybody says, which means you're playing with the big guys now, and if there's an alliance with Penske, it makes sense. I'm not sure it's completely prepared by Penske like the 21 car was. I think there's front row still their own team, but they're definitely major players this year, and they're actually showing it early on.
Yeah, how about that? It's pretty amazing. And with the right circumstances, old McDowell might have won the Daytona 500 again, too. He was a very good car last week. Oh, speaking of the Monday night Daytona 500, to the surprise of no one, as Brian and Dan had to get on a plane on Monday morning and fly home and watch it on TV, William Byron was the one that won it. A little different watching it on TV, right, guys?
Yeah, you're kind of tied to whatever the TV shows you, which can be really irritating at times, because you got to listen to their, hot air all the time as well. So I definitely wasn't pleasurable doing that. I'd much rather watch it for myself in the stands. But interesting result again. They only had a handful of wrecks versus having constant wrecks like you normally see. And they didn't go into overtime multiple times either, which was kind of interesting to see as well. They actually were able to complete a lap before they all they had the wreck at the end and it wasn't even it was Mellon Man trying to just shoot the gap, and I don't blame him for doing it, because if it works, he's out front and he's got a good shot of winning it at the end. It wasn't an egregious just lost control type of thing. It was a move to get the lead, and he was really close to being able to pull it off.
As the late great Buddy Baker once said, and I'm paraphrasing, I'd rather crash going for the win than to be happy to finish second. And apparently Ross Chastain is of the same mindset. Buddy Baker raced for about 100 years and had 18 wins, too. Keep that in mind. They're racing at Atlanta. The weather is going to be perfect. Here's something we haven't said much about NASCAR races so far. There's no rain in the forecast. The green flag is at 2:19 Central Time, and it will be televised on Fox 6 today, so everyone will be able to watch it, even if you have rabbit ears, and who has rabbit ears anymore? So it'll be fun to watch, and great. It certainly is different than the Atlanta track of old, the one that Alan Kowicki won his championship at, and that we went to watch. Now they repaved it. It's so fast that it's pretty. It's really a different. It's like a new track on the circuit.
If you watched any of the coverage this week already, you see there's already patches on that speedway. That was paved 3 years ago, maybe 4 years ago. I'm trying to remember exactly when they paved it. But there's already areas where they've had to patch stuff in it. So the surface is somewhat worn out already. It's the banking, the 28 degrees of banking, which is why they make it so fast. But I'm wondering if as we go on, they ever get to a point where you have a tire that wears out so much that the pack racing wouldn't become a thing anymore. I mean, is that something that would be possible in the future? I don't know.
And remember that the drivers universally tried to get NASCAR to leave the old pavement out there. That wasn't that long. It was 4 years ago. They were saying, Jay, they really don't need to repave this place. It's the character and it's how bad the tires are on this track that really makes the racing so great. And NASCAR went, yeah, right. Yeah.
But you remember that one of the last races, the track actually came apart. We had to stop the race to fill a pothole on it.
Oh, that's right.
That was the problem. The blacktop just wasn't lasting anymore, and you couldn't seal it up anymore. And when you had any kind of rain there for days, it would weep out. And this new blacktop they have on there is porous, where the water goes into it, and you don't have the weepers anymore. But it is starting to wear, so it's interesting to see. if this pack racing thing is going to continue for years, if they ever get to the point where their speed slow down enough that it's not a pack type situation anymore.
Didn't take long, really. 3 years in this fancy porous asphalt before it starts failing. Is this what we're going to have to look forward to? Patches, all this damn thing? Yeah, it's interesting. They did run one other race besides the Xfinity Series yesterday, a truck race. Kyle Busch was in it. Kyle Busch won it. Ty Majeski was best in class. That's non-Kyle Busch, and he'll finish second. It was pretty good. Hey, we've got a special guest next, and it's a really great story. We'll be right back.
From racing engines to street engines, long blocks to turnkey packages, or complete custom engines, just ask and Wagner Automotive can fill your needs. All backed by many years of racing experience. These years of experience have provided reliability and performance that customers need to win races. Wagner's has been building championship winning engines for top teams from NASCAR to short tracks in your backyard. This expertise has carried over to street engines they supply to top custom car builders. The Wagner Company, in the heart of Wisconsin, is outfitted with the state-of-the-art machinery necessary to design, manufacture, build, and test custom engines and their accessory parts. Dyno services are independently available for anyone needed to test their engine. Wagner's Company can also provide you or your company with production CNC machining or welding services. All your questions and requests are handled personally by Casey Wagner. Just give us a call at 920-394-3557. Or visit our website at WagnerAutomotive.com.
Wisconsin Badger basketball. Season winding down. Tuning up for the big dance.
Foul in the wall. Low on the left. Throws it up. Got it. Got it. Had a foul.
Tuesday night, the Badgers take on the Indiana Hoosiers. Matt LePay shoot-around starts at 5. Tip at 6 on 97.3 The Game.
PMF Landscape Supply in West Bend has everything you need with fresh mulch arriving daily. From premium hardwood mulch to hemlock and pine bark to EnviroMulch in red, gold, chocolate brown, and black colors. PMF also has a large variety of decorative stone and granite, as well as field stone, topsoil, and compost. For all your landscaping needs, visit PMF Landscape Supply, 5470 River Road in West Bend. Call 262-338-8800 or visit pmflandscape.com. Friends of racing for many years. PMF Landscape Supply in West Bend.
It's a bird. It's a plane. The Dan Patrick Show.
Dan Patrick. Yeah!
Now you got some infighting with some players. Now you got family members speaking on behalf of some players. This is the kind of thing that you got to extinguish because it won't get any better as you go into the off season. This is what, the Niners and John Lynch, the GM, you got to make sure you get everybody together.
The Dan Patrick Show.
Dan and the Danettes and you.
Weekday mornings, 8 to 11 on the Big 920 and your iHeartRadio app.
I love Dan Patrick. Welcome back. If you missed the news this week, we're going to catch you up in a hurry. Wisconsin has a new Cup driver. Who would have thought? Maybe you would have thought it would be Ty Majeski or maybe Luke Fenhaus or someone. No, the next NASCAR driver, the Cup Series driver, is going to come from Stratford, Wisconsin. His name is Derek Kraus. He will race next week at Vegas and in 2 weeks at Phoenix, and he joins us on the telephone right now. Derek, this is awfully exciting for all of us. It must be very exciting for you.
Yeah, thank you for having me on. It's definitely really exciting, and looking forward to next weekend at Vegas.
Have you ever raced on the big track there before? I'm guessing you have, right?
Yeah, I've been there in the truck.
Oh, the trucks, that's right. Yeah, of course. And do you like the track, first of all? It's a mile and a half, but it's fast.
Yeah, it's one of the more fun mile and a half just because of how many options you got going throughout the race. I mean, there's definitely multiple grooves, and you can move around, and then the track's starting to get a lot of characteristics with turns 1 and 2 with how rough it's getting. So there's definitely a lot of options there, and it's definitely really racy.
How much time have you spent on the simulator prepping for Vegas?
Quite a bit, actually. I I do simulator work for a colleague already, and then so I've got quite a few laps in that, and then now being able to do it for myself and build kind of my own setup with it is pretty cool. And I'll be on it tomorrow actually. So it's really important to be able to do that, and that definitely helps a ton.
Okay, round 2. Name something that's not boring.
A laundry? Ooh, a book club. Computer solitaire, huh?
Ah, sorry, we were looking for Chumba Casino. That's right, ChumbaCasino.com has over 100 casino-style games. Join today and play for free for your chance to redeem some serious prizes. ChumbaCasino.com. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+ terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
Derek, walk us through a little bit how this whole thing came about. I mean, we knew last year you had some ties to Colleague. You practiced their Cup car when AJ was at Road America a little bit. Or how did this come about where you're all of a sudden able to now you're in the Cup Series with them? How did that all come together?
Yeah, well, actually, I was in the simulator when Chris called me, and he was able to present me with the opportunity to do that. And then I was able to make a couple phone calls, and actually the first thing I did was called my dad and told him about it, and then talked to a couple sponsors, and they were able to be able to come on board and help. And I mean, of course, if it wasn't for the sponsors and wasn't for the people that were there to support me, it definitely wouldn't be possible. So I'm lucky enough to get this opportunity, and now I just got to take advantage of it and do the best that I can.
Are there other opportunities available? I mean, they got right now it says about 6 Cup Series races with Colleague. Are there any Xfinity races or a possibility of more Cup races? Is there any outlook of what more you have going on this year with Colleague?
Yeah, I mean, there's more available Cup races. I think there was 19 total that were open on the schedule, and Josh is in them for a couple, and I'm in mine for my six right now, and hopefully we'll be able to put more together for later in the season or in between these races that I'm doing now. So the goal is to try to get in the car as much as possible, and either that or hopefully we can try to get something together for an Xfinity car with them too. But so far, I mean, Colleague's been really, really good to me with the support, and Chris and Matt have been really good to me with helping me, and all the people that work there in the shops have been really supportive and really helpful for my career.
Sponsorships obviously make the thing turn. So who are the sponsors that are right there supporting you all the way through?
The first race will have Western States Flooring on it. A guy from Arizona, and we met him a couple of years ago at Daytona, and we just kind of built a relationship with him, and now he's pretty much became part of the family, really. We just have been able to build a really good relationship with him, and last year he was on the Xfinity car and the truck, actually, at Phoenix, and I presented to him the option about this Cup deal, and he was really excited about it. And luckily enough, he was able to come on board and have Western States Flooring on the car for the first races at Phoenix and Las Vegas.
Now, you've had the experience in the trucks and the Xfinity cars, and I've been told that they're completely opposite what the Cup car is. You've had some work in the Cup car when you practiced it and qualified it at Richmond. So you worked with these guys before. That's got to help. And are you ready for the big challenge?
Yeah, for sure. It's definitely going to be a challenge. Especially with you only got 20 minutes of practice to figure it out. So I'm just going to have to learn as quick as I can and adapt to the car as much as possible. Like you said, I was able to drive it at Richmond, which I really was kind of in a tough spot with what was going on because we had to make sure the car was in one piece. So I got to feel it out and drive it a little bit there and just kind of feel what the car feels like and how different it is. I mean, the tires are a lot wider, and then the sidewalls are a lot shorter than the truck or Xfinity car or even the late model. So it's going to be a completely different experience and a completely different feeling, but I'm just looking forward to it and got to adapt really quick to it.
Who do you have to lean on over there at Colleague Motorsports to give you a hand with this? I mean, it's a pretty young team. Are there drivers there that you've been, bending their ear trying to figure out, for assistance and how these things handle in the big transition from a Cup race to a Cup car to an Xfinity car or a truck?
Yeah, I mean, Daniel's been a big help, and then also AJ. I feel like AJ and I have built a really good friendship, and he's been really helpful, honestly. I've been asking him a lot of questions about it and just making sure that I can be the most prepared that I am going into next weekend. And then also the crew chief, Travis Mack, he's been really helpful. I've been up to the shop and talked to him quite a bit. So they've been all really helpful for me and supportive and giving me ideas and tips to try to learn as much as I can before I get into the car for the first time at Las Vegas.
Derek, briefly, so you got a Cup schedule of 6 races, and you've already been racing your super late model at events. What in between? Where might we see you the rest of this year?
I mean, obviously I'll be at pretty much all the big races up at home in Wisconsin, Nationals and WIR for the Dixieland 250, and then all the other races. I like, as you know, I like to race as much as I possibly can. So I know my dad and my uncle and Cam and everybody that works on my late model at home really works hard on it, and I can't thank those guys enough. Even with this Cup deal, it wouldn't be possible with all those guys and my family, my mom and dad and my sister. They've been very supportive of me, but overall we'll try to get to as many late model races as we can, and that's the plan.
Outstanding. Well, Derek, we're all very excited for you. This is a great opportunity. The best to you from all of us, and we're going to be watching real close, my friend.
All right, yeah, thank you for having me on.
All right, Derek Kraus, the new driver of the number 16 car. You'll see him next week at Vegas and in 2 weeks out here in Phoenix. Derek Kraus, the next name in the sport from the state of Wisconsin. We'll be right back.
As a growing manufacturing company, we needed security solutions. We chose Bonafide because of the services they offer, pricing, and trusted reputation. But it's their outstanding service and support that convinced us we made the right choice with Bonafide.
When businesses need security, they contact Bonafide Security Solutions. From locks and alarms to safes and surveillance, we do it all. We are Bonafide. We protect what you value. For your free security survey, call us today or visit BonafideSafe.com.
Miller Sales and Service is the Midwest's #1 Bravo trailer dealer for customer service and satisfaction. Serving the area since 1939, Miller's is located on the corner of Highway 57 and K in Random Lake. As the Midwest's #1 Bravo trailer dealer, Miller's has all kinds of Bravo trailers from 8 feet to 48 feet in stock. They also have a selection of B&B utility and dump trailers, reliable and Chilton open aluminum and steel trailers. With over 50 pre-owned low-mileage cars, trucks, and SUVs, Miller's has just the vehicle you are looking for. Miller's also carries a full line of Alumacraft boats and Manitou pontoon boats, complete with Evinrude outboards. Why not buy from racers who know what racers want and need? With Miller's Sales and Service on the corner of Highway 57 and K in Random Lake. Call Jerry, Tom, or Brad Miller today at 920-994-4358. That's Miller's Sales and Service, 920-994-4358.
The Admirals wrap up the weekend and the month of February when they take on the Grand Rapids Griffins in Grand Rapids Sunday. Backhander is tipped in front. In the crease, they shoot, score! Zach LaRue! Pre-game coverage starts at 3:30. Face-off at 4 on the Big 920 and your iHeartRadio app.
Boy, there's of all the things going on in NASCAR, they're talking it seems, first of all, we're hearing the names of lawyers a little bit too much. But before we get into all of that, apparently Steve Phelps was pressed on what the schedule is going to look like for next year, Brian, and they're already talking that we might not be keeping it in the US of A.
Yeah. We kind of had, hunches of this, that, we talked about the Mexico thing back when the Clash was talking about moving out of Southern California. And it sure sounds like during his Fox interview, last week, which was kind of abbreviated a little bit because they didn't have the full coverage last Sunday, but he made reference to the fact that he believes they'll be racing both north of the border and south of the border. Mexico City would be the thing. That's what we're all assuming that would be, for the Clash. Now, north of the border, I mean, Montreal was on the list for races for this year. It was something that they really wanted to do. They talked about going there. The Xfinity Series ran there years ago. But there was like something that fell through because of the Formula One date there and using that facility. Now, I mean, Les Phelps knows something that the rest of us don't know. There's been really nothing talked about as far as trying to sign on and do that in Montreal. That's really the only facility that you can think of in Canada where they would go. The old Mosport Park, that's kind of out in the middle of nowhere. I don't see NASCAR going there. So it sounds like maybe they've been working behind the scenes, and Montreal is going to be a place. Where is that going to fit in the schedule? What race is going to not happen because of that? Is it the Chicago Street Circuit? More than likely that would be where you would go because I don't see them taking anything else off the table. We haven't even raced at Iowa yet. I wouldn't see them taking that away before you even race there. So that's kind of what it sounds like. That leaves us up here at Road America,
yeah,
on the outside looking in yet again, as it looks like.
Yeah. Well, and what came out of that I was very interested in is that he also said straight out, we will be racing in California again. Oh, really? So this 3-year deal just may not be the thing. I got a funny feeling that right now the favorite to come back there is going to be the same thing we just watched with it's almost like an indoor thing, but at the Coliseum, that little itty bitty racetrack there. I think it's going to be back. I hate to say it because I think there's better places to race, but
options are limited. I mean, they really are.
That would mean that would be a points race then, though, right?
Oh God,
I don't know. I mean, and what's the other short track? Irwindale's the other place that's already there.
Yeah, and everybody's kind of poo-pooed that idea, but I mean that would make the most sense. I mean,
unless you go road course racing and you want to go to Long Beach, which
there you go.
I don't know.
That's the only one. That's the only one that would really fit into the schedule, into their time frame of when they want to do it. Obviously, they wouldn't do it on the same weekend as IndyCar, but IndyCar races there early April, and they could tweak their schedule to even push that back maybe a bit to March, which would allow you to go there and run maybe a week or two before the IndyCar race. Will those cars, how will they perform on there? I don't know. But if you're going to get rid of the Chicago Street Circuit and you want to always do street racing, that would do it. The biggest thing there is, are you stepping on IndyCar's toes? Because that's supposed to be their crown jewel event. And now you're going to bring the Cup Series in there. I don't know how well a deal like that would go together and who would have to pay who to make everybody happy in that situation. That's the sticky one there. But if you say you're going to race in Southern California, that's about the only thing that would work.
Crown jewel road course.
Right.
Yeah.
How many laps for one of those cars ends up in the fountain there?
Yeah.
Maybe they could figure out a street track that would go across the border and have it both be Mexico and California, and they could have Taco Bell as the sponsor making a run for the border.
Oh my God! You're a marketing genius, PJ. That's all they need. Yeah, never mind.
Oh wow!
There's all kinds of things we could throw in right there, but I'm going to just leave it alone. In other tidbits, and this is something we're going to probably want to talk about. Nick Sanchez, we know him. He seems to be a fairly good driver. He did well in his race in the Truck Series at Daytona, right?
Yeah, he won.
And he did pretty good yesterday in Atlanta. I mean that's he seems to be a pretty good driver. Just because he has the name Sanchez, apparently, is an attraction for sponsorship. Speaking of racing over the border, there is an outfit that we didn't really pay close attention to, and I really think we probably should have. Rev Racing. This is more politics than it is racing. This Rev Racing is Max Siegel. He's a African-American who tries to promote minority drivers to advance their careers, which is a very noble gesture, really. But what has happened was he paid through his sponsorship at Rev Racing. Supposedly it was a $2.9 million deal to put Nick Sanchez in Rowdy's trucks last year. Rowdy, before he sold it, was paid 2.5-ish, and so he's still got over $300,000 coming to him from Rev Racing. And even though he sold it, he is suing. This is another one of those things where at the end of the day, who's going to get rich but the lawyers? And so now Kyle Busch is suing Rev Racing for the $325,000 that is still owed. It's not a lot of money in the big picture, but what it does.
With Lucky Land Slots, you can get lucky just about anywhere.
Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today to... Has anyone seen the bride and groom?
Sorry, we're here. We were getting lucky in the limo and we lost track of time.
No, Lucky Land Casino, with cash prizes that add up quicker than a guest registry.
In that case, I pronounce you lucky.
Play for free at LuckyLandSlots.com. Daily bonuses are waiting. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+. Terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
Come on. A traditional performer of great country music. It's Daryl Worley. Performing live Saturday, March 9th at Ho Chunk Gaming, Wisconsin Dells.
Have you forgot?
Tickets are on sale now through Ticketmaster.
Felt that day.
An incredible night with country music superstar Daryl Worley.
To run wide open down a two-lane highway.
March 9th at Ho Chunk Gaming, Wisconsin Dells.
Time to make a Tennessee.
Must be 21 to attend concert.
Is shine a light on what's going on with this Rev Racing and how it is that they go out and find sponsors for minority drivers to advance their careers. What happened to the money that was not paid to Rowdy instead, like it was supposed to have been? That's another whole can of worms that we'll have to keep our eye on now. Just unbelievable. What else do we have? Well, you think that's wait till you hear the next legal wrangling that's going on after this.
PMF Landscape Supply in West Bend has everything you need with fresh mulch arriving daily. From premium hardwood mulch to hemlock and pine bark to EnviroMulch in red, gold, chocolate brown, and black colors. PMF also has a large variety of decorative stone and granite, as well as field stone, topsoil, and compost. For all your landscaping needs, visit PMF Landscape Supply, 5470 River Road in West Bend. Call 262-338-8800 or visit PMFlandscape.com. Friends of racing for many years. PMF Landscape Supply in West Bend.
As a growing manufacturing company, we needed security solutions. We chose Bonafide because of the services they offer, pricing, and trusted reputation. But it's their outstanding service and support that convinced us we made the right choice with Bonafide.
When businesses need security, they contact Bonafide Security Solutions. From locks and alarms to safes and surveillance, we do it all. We are Bonafide. We protect what you value. For your free security survey, call us today or visit BonafideSafe.com.
Wisconsin Badger basketball. Season winding down. Tuning up for the big dance.
Foul in the wall. Low on the left. Throws it up. Got it. Count it. And a foul.
Tuesday night, the Badgers take on the Indiana Hoosiers. Matt LePay shoot-around starts at 5. Tip at 6 on 97.3 The Game.
Jumping into the legal wranglings that are going on, we want to talk about drivers turning left. We don't particularly want to talk about lawyers. However, the Race Team Alliance is trying to hammer out an agreement with NASCAR, as we all know, starting with the new TV contract, which is coming next season, and it's not going well. I believe that the frustration is setting in a little bit. And and it has to do with the charters, really. The teams want the charters to be permanent, Dan, and I have a funny feeling that NASCAR, by having it just last the length of the TV agreement, are probably onto something.
And that's probably, I think that's the latest that came out. Look, their offer was to have these things renew for another 7 years, which is the length of the TV contract, which is what the original agreement was for. I don't think NASCAR wants charters permanent because you really don't know what's coming up in the future. The teams obviously do because while they see how they can profit from, they give them something for what for having that charter. It's actually worth them. It was $40-50 million to the last guy that sold it. So I mean, they may be coming to more common ground that way with that thing. I don't know the whole money totals if that's into it yet, but like you said, this Race Team Alliance, they hired some high-profile lawyer now to represent him, right? That's got a pretty good track record.
Guy's name is Jeffrey Kessler, and he was hired as a, quote, advisor to the RTA. And you say to yourself, well, it's just a lawyer. This is the guy who won the case against the NCAA about student athletes. Remember the deal with student athletes and you couldn't pay them and all that? He's the one that won the litigation about name, image, and likeness that now belongs back with the athletes rather than with their schools. I mean, this guy is he can muck things up pretty good, and he's I think that's what the RTA is kind of counting on at this point, because what we don't need is an antitrust suit, and I just can't help but thinking they're going to start waving that around in front of NASCAR to move negotiations along. It's scary, but it's out there, don't you guys think?
Yeah, and if you're gonna get a lawyer to do it, that's the one to do it. I mean, that guy. Whoever would have thought what happened to college sports would happen to college sports, and he was able to get the deal done. So you pulled a guy, out that's definitely going to get this done. And these teams, the money in these teams is not there. And the reason we're seeing it kind of all goes together with why we're seeing, some of the marginal drivers in some of these teams as well, because, you have to rely so much on the sponsorship money that you can't bring in talent that doesn't have a major sponsor behind them, because the money just doesn't work out that way. So the teams need to get some more of the pieces of the pie of this, and that's where they're going to go after NASCAR and try to get some more of that money.
They will. It's the antitrust part that scares the hell out of me. What the last thing NASCAR needs is to have a lawsuit like that. I don't know what kind of standing it would have. Do they actually have any teeth in it? I'd probably not. I would think. But because it's a family-owned business, right? Does that make it an antitrust? It's still the France family who makes more money than everybody else combined, correct?
I believe so.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Like you said, they just can't have that happen. I mean, they got to be careful and get this deal done and get it done right, because if there's one thing that could actually mess everything up, it's probably that. It's like when the NFL guys were going to go on strike years ago. Remember, they couldn't believe they're going to leave all that money and wreck that, and they finally came to their senses. It's kind of the same thing here.
Lawyers, just what we need. We're racing at Atlanta today, oh, by the way, on the recently paved track. 3 years it's been going now, but that's amazing. A little over a mile and a half. It's fast as hell, but there's no rain in the forecast. Michael McDowell on the pole. I would have actually thought that number would have been higher than 178. Is it like Daytona where they go faster when there's a group?
I think so, but you got Atlanta's being so smaller, you can't hammer it through the corners like you can. I think in Daytona, you're actually going to have to lift a little bit to get around here. Interesting thing in tech this week, we've already got cars with parts confiscated already.
Yeah, unbelievable. How can roof rail deflectors make any kind of headline whatsoever? A couple of the Stewart cars, the 10 and the 41, had them confiscated. They're going to take them to their R&D center and look at them this week. Roof rail deflectors? It's amazing, first of all, that they even look at that. I wonder if that shows up when they do the laser. I'm guessing it probably does, right?
I think that's a team part. That's not like a single source part, so it's not. Uh-oh. It's not as big a deal, I think, as the last ones they got dinged with, but it's still something. And you got to think after they got dinged last year a couple times that they're actually looking maybe harder at those cars. I'm not sure. We'll see what the penalties come out. Could they be like the hood louvers? Last year that didn't be too big of a deal. I don't know.
Yeah, there's a lot to it. By the way, the 47 car, Stenhouse's car, failed inspection twice. Their engineer got kicked out for the race. I'm not sure that that's going to make a huge difference, although this being the equivalent of restrictor plate racing, it's just a word now. It's not really a restrictor plate, as we know. But who the hell says tempered spacer racing? Nobody. But Stenhouse is pretty good at this sort of racing, so it may or may not be a thing.
I saw somebody online that was looking at the windshield of a McDonald's car and saw that the tear-offs that they have, the windshield tear-offs, were offset on one side. Exactly, something has an aero advantage. I'm like, really? That's how close we're getting? But it's that way. I mean, we learned years ago in Chicago, you don't mess with stickers on the car or even touch the car because everything's set for a reason.
And unless there is a rule written about it in the book where exactly the tear-off has to start and finish, you'll have guys that have looked at it in a wind tunnel and spent a lot of money to figure out, if we move it an inch or two over this way, it'll give us a 0.001 advantage. Oh, for crying out loud. You got to be kidding me. It's come to that. We have so few ways of getting extra speed out of cars that we have to take every possible chance we can. Hey, another, we call them Wisconsin ties. I don't know that it really is, because Carson Kvapil, I don't believe, has ever lived in the state of Wisconsin. He raced in Wisconsin. His dad is from Janesville, but Carson Kvapil is going to get his first Xfinity ride. He's going to drive one of Junior Motorsports cars. Not a surprise. The number 88 car he's going to drive at Martinsville. Perfect place for Carson Kvapil to get started. Hey, PJ, if I remember right, didn't Toby work with Carson Kvapil in the past? Or am I thinking of somebody else?
No, he did it.
Travis, yeah, I'm sorry. I thought my mic was turned on. Travis bought a Toby car, and they've run that a little bit down south as well, too. Caden has been running it here recently. They've done a few little modifications with it, and that was a Toby car that Caden ran at the Snowball Derby as well.
Okay. All right. So there's a little the kid has some talent. He's got it from his dad, no doubt. And Dad is helping him and kind of guiding his career along. Getting him involved with Junior Motorsports seems like a pretty good way to go. That's for sure. We've got some dirt results for you when we come back. Hang in there with us.
Miller Sales and Service is the Midwest's #1 Bravo trailer dealer for customer service and satisfaction. Serving the area since 1939, Miller's is located on the corner of Highway 57 and K in Random Lake. As the Midwest's #1 Bravo trailer dealer, Miller's has all kinds of Bravo trailers from 8 feet to 48 feet in stock. They also have a selection of B&B utility and dump trailers, reliable and Chilton open aluminum and steel trailers. With over 50 pre-owned low-mileage cars, trucks, and SUVs, Miller's has just the vehicle you are looking for. Miller's also carries a full line of Alumacraft boats and Manitou pontoon boats, complete with Evinrude outboards. Why not buy from racers who know what racers want and need? With Miller's Sales and Service on the corner of Highway 57 and K in Random Lake. Call Jerry, Tom, or Brad Miller today at 920-994-4358. That's Miller's Sales and Service, 920-994-4358.
PMF Landscape Supply in West Bend has everything you need with fresh mulch arriving daily. From premium hardwood mulch to hemlock and pine bark to EnviroMulch in red, gold, chocolate brown, and black colors. PMF also has a large variety of decorative stone and granite, as well as field stone, topsoil, and compost. For all your landscaping needs, visit PMF Landscape Supply, 5470 River Road in West Bend. Call 262-338-8800 or visit PMFlandscape.com. Friends of racing for many years. PMF Landscape Supply in West Bend.
The Admirals wrap up the weekend and the month of February when they take on the Grand Rapids Griffins in Grand Rapids Sunday. Backhander is tipped at front. In the crease, they shoot, score! Zach LaRue! Pre-game coverage starts at 3:30. Face-off at 4 on the Big 920 and your iHeartRadio app.
LTN Hour presents Dirt on the Dirt with Brian Schmidt.
It's the calm after the busy Speed Weeks month as the dirt world kind of takes a little bit of a pause here. There's still a couple events going on, though. We'll start Thursday night down in Brunswick, Georgia at the Golden Isles Raceway. The High Limit Sprint Car Series made their debut at the Georgia track. $10,000 to win, and Tyler Courtney grabbed the win. 604 crates were the undercard with Mark Whitener grabbing that one. The Lucas Oil Series was to join them on Friday night, but there was a lot of overnight rain, which caused for the postponement of that Lucas Oil event, so they did not race there Friday night. Out in Yuma, Arizona on Friday at the Coco Paw Speedway, the Arizona Modified Tour continued, with the IMCA Modified feature winner being Colin Hibden. Stock cars were there. Ryan Roth was your winner there. Milton, Florida, the Southern Raceway, the Battle at the Beach. The USCS 360 sprint cars were there. Terry McCarroll grabbed the win. The IMCA Modifieds also were there, and Jade Lusenberg was the winner there. Greenville, Texas, the Hunt County Raceway, the USMTS Modified Series season opener, and veteran Jason Hughes grabbed that win on Friday night. Last night, Yuma, Arizona, another night of the Arizona Modified Tour. Chaz Baca was the winner there, and the IMCA Stock Cars was Brad Whitfield. Clewiston, Florida, down at the Hendry County Speedway. Crate Racing USA was there for the Swamp Cabbage 100.
My God.
Never heard that one before.
Swamp cabbage.
Swamp cabbage. Never had that.
Let's go get some. Oh,
$12,000 to win for the Crate Racing USA late models, and Tyler Clem, that's Bubba the Love Sponge's kid, he grabbed the win there. Milton, Florida, night number 2 of the Battle at the Beach for the USCS 360 sprint cars. Mark Smith was your winner, and the Modifieds went to Chance Holland. Greenville, Texas, the second night of the USMTS Modified Series, Jim Chisholm was your winner. And finally, in Brunswick, Georgia, the High Limits Sprint Car Series was joined by the Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series. Both of them ran for $20,000 to win. Jacob Allen won the sprint car feature, and Mikey Marler won the $20,000 to win Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series feature winner. And that is everything we have for this week.
Brian, just to prove that I pay close attention to everything you say, back up in your results a little bit. It sounded like Yuma on the results there. Did you say Brad Whitford won a race?
Whitfield. Brad Whitfield, the IMCA stock car feature.
Oh, I think he's the promoter.
Well, that could be.
He is the promoter out there.
Well, there you go. One at his own track. That's a good thing.
There you go. When was the last time something like that happened?
Lucky Land Casino, asking people, what's the weirdest place you've gotten lucky?
Lucky? In line at the deli, I guess?
Aha, in my dentist's office. More than once, actually.
Do I have to say?
Yes, you do.
In the car before my kids' PTA meeting.
Really?
Yes.
Excuse me, what's the weirdest place you've gotten lucky?
I never win and tell.
Well, there you have it. You can get lucky anywhere, playing at LuckyLandSlots.com. Play for free right now. Are you feeling lucky? No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+. Terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
Everybody in your crew identifies as either Big Mac Burger, McNuggets, or McCrispy Sandwich. But you're the Filet-O-Fish Sandwich all day. That crispy fish, that savory tartar sauce, that melty cheese, that pillowy bun. Yeah, you get it. Every time.
Right now, hurry in and buy a Filet-O-Fish and get the second one for just $1. And pair it with a Sprite. Price and participation may vary. Cannot be combined with any other offer. Valid for product of equal or lesser value.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Brett, oh my God, there you go. PJ, this was a pretty big week in the world of short track, super late model short track racing, because the Kowicki semifinalists were announced.
Yeah, 15 drivers, and then they'll be paring it down to the final 7 who will actually compete for that Kowicki Cup. And over half, if you count surrounding states, are from the Midwest, so that's pretty cool.
4 Wisconsin kids. Braden Berge, who raced at Slinger last year, looked pretty darn good in his debut in a super late and was running out front. If you'll remember, if you had been out at the track, Brad Miller had run him down, and when he tried to pass him, they got together and they took out Luke Fenhouse, who got out of his car and had some disparaging things to say, which was a little disappointing. But anyway, Berge has raced at Slinger before and has looked very good. He's 20 years old, will be 21 next month, out of Elkhorn, Wisconsin. A kid named Jevin Goralski, 16 years of age, out of Wausau. He's one of those guys that races up at State Park Speedway. Dan, has he ever got away from Wausau, or is that his only track that he races?
I think that might be where right now. Maybe in the lower divisions. His brother Colton runs super late on the Midwest tour.
He is He is going to be running a limited schedule at Jefferson, though, and he plans to run some ASA Midwest Tour races as well at Wausau and Jefferson. And he might run the full Tundra Series.
Oh, very nice. Well, it's open yet to see if he gets the money from Kawicki, probably. Kendrick Cryer, Frank's kid, he's 16 years old. He's from Wisconsin Dells, but doesn't race at Wisconsin Dells. He races at other tracks. He's shown some pretty good talent, and he's number 3 on the Big Four from Wisconsin. Levon Vandergeest, who raced out of Merrill, Wisconsin, dragged the car all the way to Slinger last year. He's 19 years old. He'll be 20 by the time he starts racing again this year. Another good young driver, and also on the list now, as PJ mentioned, 3 other drivers from surrounding states that race extensively in Wisconsin, beginning with second-generation racer Ty Fredrickson, 14 years of age right now. He'll be 15 by the time he races his first race this year. Still, think about that. Very young driver, and boy, has he looked good under Dad's tutelage so far in his young career.
I would agree with that as well, too. And he had a good showing down at Speed Weeks this past week. And looking forward to seeing him run the entire ASA Midwest Tour schedule this season as well, going for Rookie of the Year.
And Max Kaler out of Caledonia, Illinois, has raced in Wisconsin extensively. He'll be 21 by the time the season starts. And but he was in the Kawicki program 4 years ago. Very odd. And the other one that is from a surrounding state, Cody King. He's 16 years old. He's out of Clear Lake, Iowa, but he is going to run the Alive for 5 series at Dells Raceway Park this year. Plus, he plans to run the ASA Midwest Tour also. So, I
also consider Chase Berta to be a Midwesterner. I mean, he's from Michigan, and he is the 2023 JEG CRH Series champ, and he's won the Master of the Pro Series at Owasso Speedway. And he's going to be running several pro and super late model races throughout 2024, including that big Money in the Bank and the Battle at Berlin Raceway. And he also plans to run that Winchester 400 and the All-American 400 at Nashville, plus a lot of others. And he is definitely a force to contend with. And I do consider Michigan to be part of the Midwest, too.
Yeah, I suppose if you put it that way. Plus drivers from Florida, Massachusetts, Washington, Colorado, Vermont, Alabama, and Maine are all in that final 15. Tom Roberts works very hard along with the group that picks these drivers, and they go through a pretty extensive process of when they get the application, they look at the driver, they see what it has to do to me about trying to get through school while racing. And that's why most of these drivers are very young. I did notice that one of the drivers is 26. Are you in school yet? Are you not doing well?
You can go back to school, too.
I suppose there's always that. You think back, wasn't Ty Majeski the absolute most perfect guy to have won the Kawicki program, being Polish, going to UW and getting an engineering degree and racing while he's doing it? I mean, it's just too perfect. And he's been a spectacular representative of the program over the years, too.
Well, and it really is a great program as well, too. Again, they're going to be all fighting for a ton of money thanks to the whole program. So good stuff.
Pretty awesome. Yeah, pretty great. The final segment coming up after these.
From racing engines to street engines, long blocks to turnkey packages, or complete custom engines, just ask and Wagner Automotive can fill your needs. All backed by many years of racing experience. These years of experience have provided reliability and performance that customers need to win races. Wagner's has been building championship-winning engines for top teams from NASCAR to short tracks in your backyard. This expertise has carried over to street engines they supply to top custom car builders. The Wagner Company Company in the heart of Wisconsin is outfitted with the state-of-the-art machinery necessary to design, manufacture, build, and test custom engines and their accessory parts. Dyno services are independently available for anyone needed to test their engine. Wagner's Company can also provide you or your company with production CNC machining or welding services. All your questions and requests are handled personally by Casey Wagner. Just give us a call at 920-394-3557 or visit our website at WagnerAutomotive.com.
Wisconsin Badger basketball. Season winding down. Tuning up for the big dance.
Foul in the wall. Low on the left. Throws it up. Got it. Count it. And a foul.
Tuesday night, the Badgers take on the Indiana Hoosiers. Matt LePay shoot-around starts at 5. Tip at 6 on 97.3 The Game.
PMF Landscape Supply in West Bend has everything you need with fresh mulch arriving daily. From premium hardwood mulch to hemlock and pine bark to EnviroMulch in red, gold, chocolate brown, and black colors. PMF also has a large variety of decorative stone and granite, as well as field stone, topsoil, and compost. For all your landscaping needs, visit PMF Landscape Supply, 5470 River Road in West Bend. Call 262-338-8800 or visit pmflandscape.com. Friends of racing for many years. PMF Landscape Supply in West Bend.
Check this out. This is The Herd. You're excited. I'm excited. With Colin Cowherd.
So why did San Francisco lose? I'll throw out to you why they lost. Special teams and bad luck. Kansas City fumbled 5 times, recovered 4. Then you throw in Dre Greenlaw got hurt running on the field.
This is The Herd.
Weekdays 3 to 6 on the Big 920 and your iHeartRadio app.
In keeping with our traditional lousy luck in picking winners, last week none of us had picked any of the Hendrick cars. I would say that even Rick Hendrick was surprised. There was everybody running up front, and if there hadn't been a late caution, I'm not exactly sure William Byron was going to pass everybody. I will go immediately to the first pick here because last week I picked Kyle Busch, and this week I'm picking Kyle Busch again. He's not going to continue to go without winning, and he won there yesterday. He's got his batteries recharged, and I'm going with the 8 car today to win. Dan, you're next on the list.
All right, I'll pick a Hendrick car this week, seeing as I picked a Toyota last week. Even though the Toyota seems faster, I'm going to go with Kyle Larson.
Uh-huh. All right, Brian?
Oh, I hate to do it, but I think he's probably going to do well today. Probably Joey Logano.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, you can't when you're picking
the best car last week,
and
too.
He's not a bad guy to pick. You know, he's if not the best Ford, certainly right there in the conversation. And PJ,
I'm going with the guy with the best T-shirt collection, Ryan Blaney.
Did I miss that? What, did he wear a different T-shirt every time he's on or something?
No, he's got really great vintage T-shirts, vintage racing T-shirts. You've never seen his collection? It's really good.
I had put money last week on Ross Chastain, and boy, oh boy, I was pretty excited with a little over a lap to go there, thinking I was going to have a shot to win it, and I had it at 20-something to 1 or something. There's a reason, apparently, that they didn't think more of his chance to win because he squeezed through a spot that really wasn't there. Is that the way you guys looked at that?
Yeah, I mean, he was going for it, and it was close. Boy, it was close. If he would have made that move and been able to pull that off, I mean, it already was a really good race, I thought, the second half of it, and that would have even sealed its fate as one of the better ones.
Yeah, but of course he DNF'd because of that, or at least finished way the hell back. It was terrible. I don't know.
That was only kind of let down of that race. It was a pretty decent in the end, and we had to finish that way where we didn't really know who won. We had to look at cameras, and then, was it Bowman, was it Byron? And one in-car shot looked like Bowman was leading, and the overhead shot looked like Byron was leading. I wish they could somehow clean that up because that gets kind of...
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Isn't it amazing how in qualifying here, single car qualifying, Michael McDowell and Joey Logano, 2 weeks in a row, your front row. Todd Gilliland is 4th in qualifying today. Well, wait a minute. You say to yourself, huh? Yeah. How about that? And then you look at the other end, Chase Elliott 28th. You get Tyler Reddick 19th. Even some of the names, Hamlin 13th. But the trouble is, not trouble, it's a 400-miler. It's a 260-lapper. And will any of that matter about 20 laps into the race? I'm thinking it really won't, because by then we're going to know who's got cars that are going to pass.
Well, if you can pass. I mean, the Xfinity race, the top lane was it, and you couldn't make the bottom work at all. So, the only car can make the bottom work in the Xfinity race is the 2-car, who was light years better than everybody else. We'll see what happens on the Cup side. Hopefully they can get 2 lanes going and have some passing. And that qualifying is a result of no practice. We just loaded them off the truck and qualified. I mean, the Legacy Motorsports cars were all over the place. Eric Jones should have crashed that car, how loose it was, and he didn't.
And we probably could have thrown this out for discussion early in the race, but the reasoning behind NASCAR not allowing any – I mean, you unload off the truck and go qualify. It just doesn't make sense to me. Did it make sense in the COVID year? I don't even know that it did then.
Well, and they went to it on these pack racing tracks because of the limited cars. If you remember when they first brought these cars out, people didn't have enough of them. But I think the inventory is up there now that you don't have to worry about people wrecking cars in practice like you did before. That was the big reason why. And that's what Ross Chastain was talking about yesterday. He goes, we need to have some practice. You need to have something, even if it is the 20 minutes like they did before, which I argue the best format they ever had is that 50-minute deal, which they have. Mm-hmm. They have that thing in Phoenix, and they had it at a couple of the new tracks. That 50 minutes gives you enough time to come in and out, do some changes, and work on your car and get it right.
And fine-tune it if nothing else, right?
Yeah.
Puts on a better show.
Yeah. And the deal where they, you line them up in pit road and you're not able to do a lot of the stuff to the cars, that doesn't do it either. They did it at Chicago last year because they didn't have a garage area, but they're very limited on what they can do. There's still the best scenarios where you can go back in the garage, do some changes. If your car is way off like Jones's yesterday, they could have went in there and got that thing fixed. Now, they still are not going to know what they have when they go racing today.
Yeah, I mean, the logic behind it would be nice if someone knew, because I'm not sure. I mean, it didn't, like I said, it didn't make sense for COVID. Why is it making as much sense now as it did back then?
They claim they're saving the team's money, but really, are you? You're there anyway.
Yeah. How much? One less practice, right? And that's going to save them money. Unbelievable. I'm not sure that will.
But we're going to drive all the way to the middle of Mexico or all the way up to Canada, So, I mean, come on. Tell me you're saving money without telling me you're saving money.
Well, on new tracks, it might be a different story, but either way. This is I'm greatly looking forward to this one today. This is great entertainment for me at this track, and maybe we're going to have a surprise winner today. That would be good, too, because look at the guys up front for qualifying. Maybe. You never know. Who? Well, all right, probably won't. Hey, we're glad you're tuned in, and we're glad you make us part of your Sunday mornings. As we like to remind folks, real race cars have doors, even if they do climb in through the windows. Let's Talk NASCAR is produced and directed by Dangerous Dan Margetta. Our engineer is Matt Losi, and for all of us involved with the program, we love having you here, and we'll see you next week, everybody.
This program has come to you live from multiple locations via Skype. Any and all comments expressed on this show do not necessarily express the opinions of this station, its employees, or advertisers. Your comments are always welcome at mail@ltnradionetwork.com. Find us at facebook.com/LTN Radio Network. And thank you for your support since 1985. Tune in again next Sunday morning at 10 a.m. Central Time for the LTN Hour on the LTN Radio Network.
Hello, it is Ryan, and I was on a flight the other day playing one of my favorite social spin slot games on ChumbaCasino.com. I looked over at the person sitting next to me, and you know what they were doing? They were also playing Chumba Casino. Coincidence? I think not. Everybody's loving having fun with it. Chumba Casino is home to hundreds of casino-style games that you can play for free anytime, anywhere, even at 30,000 feet. So sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com to claim your free welcome bonus. That's ChumbaCasino.com and live the Chumba life.
No purchase necessary. VGW. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.